Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster, was an American serial killer and sex offender who murdered and dismembered 17 young men and boys between 1978 and 1991. His crimes involved necrophilia, cannibalism, and the preservation of body parts, making him one of the most notorious and disturbing serial killers in history. Jeffrey Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From a young age, he exhibited signs of a troubled psyche, including a fascination with dead animals. His parents' turbulent marriage and subsequent divorce further isolated him emotionally. Dahmer's killing spree began in 1978 with the murder of Stephen Hicks and continued until his arrest in 1991. The gruesome nature of his crimes came to light when one of his intended victims, Tracy Edwards, escaped and flagged down police, leading them to Dahmer's apartment. Dahmer's method of operation involved several consistent elements. Victims. Dahmer's victims were primarily young men, often from marginalized communities, whom he lured to his apartment with promises of money or alcohol. Many were gay or bisexual, which facilitated Dahmer's approach in gay bars and bathhouses. Method. Dahmer would drug his victims to render them unconscious before strangling them. He engaged in post-mortem activities, including necrophilia, dismemberment, and occasionally cannibalism. Dahmer preserved some body parts, including skulls and genitalia, as macabre trophies. Body disposal. Dahmer dismembered his victims and disposed of their remains in various ways, including dissolving flesh in acid and crushing bones. Some remains were kept in his apartment, contributing to the overwhelming evidence found upon his arrest. Key victims. Notable victims of Jeffrey Dahmer include Stephen Hicks, 1978, Dahmer's first known victim, picked up while hitchhiking and killed at Dahmer's parents' home. Stephen Twomey, 1987, killed in a hotel room, marking the escalation of Dahmer's violent tendencies. Anthony Sears, 1989, his remains were kept as souvenirs, marking Dahmer's increasing need to retain physical mementos. Konarak Synthesumphone, 1991, a 14-year-old who briefly escaped but was returned to Dahmer by police, tragically becoming one of his last victims. Several aspects of Dahmer's case have been the subject of intense scrutiny and discussion. Psychological profile. Dahmer's actions have been analyzed extensively to understand the psychological and environmental factors that contributed to his behavior. He was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, schizotypal personality disorder, and psychotic disorder, but was deemed legally sane at trial. Police missteps. There were several instances where police could have intervened earlier. Notably, Konarak Synthesumfone's escape and subsequent return to Dahmer by officers, who believed Dahmer's explanation that they were lovers having a domestic dispute, highlighted significant failures. Family influence. Dahmer's childhood and family dynamics have been examined for potential influences on his development into a killer. His parents' separation and his mother's mental health issues are often discussed in this context. Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested on July 22, 1991, after Tracy Edwards escaped and led police to Dahmer's apartment, where they discovered photographs of dismembered bodies and human remains. Dahmer confessed to his crimes in great detail. In 1992, he was convicted of 15 of the 17 murders and sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms in prison. The Jeffrey Dahmer case has had a profound impact on criminal psychology, law enforcement practices, and popular culture. Media coverage. Dahmer's crimes received extensive media coverage, contributing to public fascination and horror. The details of his murders shocked the nation and the world. Books and films. The case has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and films, including The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, An American Nightmare, and the 2017 film My Friend Dahmer, which explores his early life and descent into madness. Law enforcement training. The case has influenced law enforcement training and procedures, emphasizing the importance of thorough investigations and the handling of potential crime scenes and victims. Jeffrey Dahmer's gruesome legacy remains a stark reminder of the darkest aspects of human nature and the critical need for vigilance and intervention to prevent such horrors. His story continues to captivate and horrify, providing valuable insights into the mind of a serial killer and the societal factors that can contribute to such extreme behavior.